Well, Tim, one of the things that's come up recently, the DCC was on the air here in Arkansas over the weekend. John Vogel made some charges against you, made two charges really. The first one he made was that you were involved in voter caging in Florida during the 2004 election. Can you clear that up for us? What exactly happened there?
Well, first of all, it's interesting to me that the DCCC would be defending Acorn. What happened in 2004 and what has happened in numerous cycles is Acorn and like groups were registering people to vote that couldn't vote, that didn't exist, that you may remember that Michael Jordan and Mickey Mouse and a couple of other celebrities registered to vote, I think in Illinois in 2004. Acorn was a big part of that. And I was at the RNC at that time, and I was on the communication staff, and we did everything we could to make sure the press knew about a lot of this stuff. And if you look in articles, you will see hundreds of examples of illegal registering of people to vote and what have you. I believe that everybody who can vote legally should vote legally, but I also know that people who vote illegally and voter fraud waters down the vote of people like you and me who can vote legally. So it's completely hogwash, and but I expect nothing less from those guys. They can't talk about the issues because they believe differently than the people of the 2nd Congressional District. So if they want to make this about defending Acorn and they want to continue to defend Acorn, good luck with that.
So you tried to keep Mickey Mouse from voting in Florida?
Well, no. Mickey Mouse, I think, was registered in Illinois. But the bottom line is there were a lot of people registered who either didn't exist or didn't have a legitimate address. There were a lot of shenanigans going on with Acorn, and we know a lot more about Acorn today than we did in 2004, I think it's fair to say. And I don't think that's a group that I would want to side with.
Let's get in quickly to the second charge they made, and this line of attack has also been echoed by one of your primary opponents, a fellow Republican, and that's where they say that you've been handpicked by the GOP establishment, the Washington establishment.
That's silly. It's completely silly. And let me tell you why. When I thought about getting in this race, it became very clear to me that I was going to be judged on what I did. I'm not part of a family dynasty. My dad was a minister. My dad is a minister. My mom is a teacher. Okay? So what national folks were looking at when they were trying to determine who's the favorite, it's not my family history of growing up in Magnolia. Okay? What they're looking at is, can he raise the money? Can he put together an effective campaign? Can he put together an effective organization and get support? And I am proud of all the support that we've gotten. I'm honored. We have worked and worked and worked. And no one handpicked me. I can tell you that it's just silly. It's just silly. Usually, the people that talk about the ability to raise money are people who haven't been able to raise money. I can tell you though that we have approximately 800 contributors. I think the number in terms of in-state is around 70% of those are in-state. I certainly have a lot of friends out of state, and you know who else had a lot of friends out of state? Scott Brown, who won in Massachusetts last night. He had a lot of friends out of state. And I think he'll tell you the reason he was able to compete and the reason he was able to win is because people like me and a lot of other people here in Arkansas and across the country gave him money. I gave him $25. So I certainly have raised some money out of state, and I'll tell you that any serious congressional candidate is going to raise money out of state. Sure. They're not going to send checks back when somebody sends them a check from out of state. That's silly. So I guarantee you the national attention that this campaign has gotten is because we have worked hard, we have a lot of donors and a lot of support, and we have raised money that's going to be necessary to win this seat back. Money's not everything, but money's important. I often say, if McDonald's launched a new hamburger and they had $0 for an advertising budget, they wouldn't sell many hamburgers. And that's just the truth. It could be the best hamburger in the world, but you got to have money to run those ads. You're not going to walk down to KATV and go, come on, please, let me run some free ads. It's not going to happen. You got to pay for your ads. And the way you pay for those ads is money. And the way you get money is to raise it. And the way you raise it is to run a good campaign and get a lot of support. And that's what we're doing, and we're very proud of that.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Scott Brown, because that leads me into the last question I have for you today. Representative Chris Van Hollen, the chairman of the DCCC, just this morning was talking about that race. And the spin that they're already discussing is they're saying that people are misguided on the fact that the economy is in a free fall. They say that it was in a free fall under Bush, that the Democrats have not had time to turn that around yet, and that people should give the Democrats a chance to turn that around. What's your response to that? And do you think that's going to be something we're probably going to hear in November?
Well, if that truly is what he believes, I think that he is misreading the election. I think there are several things going on. The economy is a big part of it, and the question is not whether there were problems under the previous administration. Certainly there were. The question is, have things gotten better or things gotten worse, and why? And I think most folks see that spending trillions of dollars and going further in debt has gotten us very little, if anything, except for further in debt. And number one. Number two, it's not just about the economy. It's about health care. It's about cap and trade. It's about car check. It's about all the stimulus package, the bailouts, the bonuses for AIG. It's about all this stuff. And it's a cumulative thing. And so I think that he's right to talk about the economy. The economy is a big part of it. But I would submit to you that we've been going in the wrong direction on the economy, because historically this country has created jobs through the private sector, small business in particular. And this administration has focused on the government. So yes, the economy is a big part of that, but there are a whole host of other issues that come into play too. You know, I think there are some issues that aren't pieces of legislation per se, but for example, transparency. I think the fact that President Obama has said repeatedly that he thinks that the health care negotiations should be open to the public, and that C-SPAN has asked to be included, and now Speaker Pelosi has been reluctant to do that. I think that type of thing also reverberates with voters. People believe that they need to know what's going on behind closed doors, particularly when you've got 1/6 of the U.S. economy at stake. So if he reads last night's results as they need to go further and faster and be more aggressive, I think that's the wrong interpretation, and I think that they're going to see that in November. I would just say to anyone thinking about getting in this race and running nationwide, that they need to listen first and foremost to the people, to not only to people who are active in the party, but people in the Tea Parties, a lot of people are mobilizing in third-party groups. There are a whole host of people out there who are aggravated, who are disgusted, who are scared, who are concerned, and I think that's what you saw in Massachusetts last night. And if these folks in Washington don't see that, they're going to be in for a big shock in November.